Greetings, this is Mohan here, and I've designed this video to show you the various components of the Boomerang Day Trader system. Boomerang Day Trader consists of 8 primary aspects, which are shown on this chart here using a standard default 450 tick chart. It consists of the trade channels, which are these shaded areas here, the trade signal line, which is this thin line that runs through here, which colors the bars according to the bias of the direction of the line. The cobra, which is this thick dotted line that runs here, that gives an advanced signal of when we're going to have a new trade channel come in. The dynamic trend bands, which consist of this thicker magenta line and this thin magenta line, and the changing colors where it goes from cyan bluish color here on the bias or the dynamic trend band number 1 and the dynamic trend band number 2 here. We also have what is called a bias accelerator alert, showed by this triangle here, and this one here, and another one up here. These are changes in proven chart patterns that will print on this screen when the chart pattern is set up. We also have the bias accelerator I just mentioned, the bias index number 1, which is down here, which is a histogram showing the different levels of bias by color coding red, yellow, and green, and then the what I call the wicks coming outside of this, and bias index number 2, which I call the market force indicator, which tells us what the general force of the market is and when it's getting exhausted as it reaches these different levels of exhaustion lines here. And we have a very special 4-prong line. I've just got one up here, and it's called the dynamic support and resistance. It actually consists of 4 different levels that can be placed on the chart, but right now I just for simplicity have this one. So the way Boomerang Day Trader works is that one element I forgot to mention is these dots on the pullback signal line, which I'll discuss now. When you get a new trade channel, this arrow opens up here and alarms the alert to a new channel opening up. The color bar will change to the appropriate direction, which in this case is red for a downside move, and when the prices pull back and tap the signal line right here, it'll give you an entry signal, which is also alarmed and marked immediately on the dotted signal line. So it offers, after the trade channel opens, offers up to 6 signals on the pullback to the signal line, up to 6 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can see the 7th candle, although tapping here and also tapping a signal line here, there's no signal giving. Generally, we as traders look to catch the 1st or the 2nd pullback signal line and then scalp that trade down for a 3-point move. Now, there are also methods that I teach on our ongoing bi-weekly training sessions which show you how to capture a larger scale move. One of those is when we see the dynamic trend bands cross over as shown here, and this can also be alarmed and signaled if you wish. We look for a longer stretched out move as you see here. Now they don't all, it's about, I would say, 80% effective, but they're effective in showing a stretched out, elongated move, which is a rare thing to have in any trading system that gives you an advance alert of a larger scale move occurring. Here's another crossover right here, the dynamic trend bands, and an extended alert. So it's a really valuable tool. And we go over these in our bi-weekly trainings. But so those are the 8 components of the Boomerang Day Trader system, and it's very simple to use. Like I said, when the way the signals work is when you get a crossover of the cobra of the dynamic trend band number 1, you trade that first, you get an arrow signal of a new channel opening, you trade that pullback signal line, and we look for 3-point move. Very, very simple. Similarly here, one of the other rules is when all 3 of the dynamic trend bands are matching, as in this case here, you get an advanced early signal, and you can take any of these pullback the signal lines again for a 3-point scalp. You don't need to wait for the cobra to cross over the dynamic trend band number 2 if all the colors are automatically matching. So that is the essence of the Boomerang Day Trader and how it works. Again, every 2 weeks on my training classes, I go over all the different details and the way to handle things. There's choppy market alerts and all kinds of different things that are built into these components. And as you learn how to read the market using Boomerang, these become quite clear on how to advance your trading. So thank you for joining with me today, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the upcoming tutorials.